que nos invitaron acá. Voy a hablar en español un ratito para que se den cuenta en cómo uno se sienta cuando no entiende el idioma que le están hablando. I just finished saying thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm going to talk a little bit in Spanish so you see what it feels like to not understand what is trying to be communicated to you at a very, very important moment. Not that my speaking is all that important, but just the mere fact that there were so many in Long Beach at such a very crucial moment could not understand what was happening. Beyond the fact that the storm was hitting us, there were many, many folks who didn't understand the language, didn't understand English, and were stuck, mired in panic, fear, and immobile. They were immovable. Immovable. And there was really nobody to turn to at that moment. Many of our members had nowhere to go. Most of their family members are in another country. They lacked the appropriate paperwork to feel comfortable to move from one place to the next. If they were going to shelters, they didn't even know what the shelters would provide, and they feared very much for their children. I think that the city has a tremendous responsibility, as I mentioned on the tape, because in 1964, the Civil Rights Act, this is a law that any municipality, nonprofit agency receiving federal dollars must indeed provide for the top 6 language speakers of that municipality in their own language. Why? Because it gives them access to government. Without access, we don't belong, and yet we are here. So I just wanted to relate a quick story. There were a lot of people who stayed, but in terms of messaging, when you were talking about on the film, the piece where it said neighbors and friends held so much weight in our decisions. Quick story, 2 days before the storm, everybody's talking, everybody's, well, are you leaving, are you not leaving? All the men folk kind of gather outside my home, all the neighbors, and the guys are all deciding what we're all going to be doing. My husband comes back into the house and he tells me, oh, we're staying. 20 minutes before, I had been over by the canal and I saw the water for the first time in my life lapping the sidewalk. I'd never seen that. I've been here 16 years. So I tell my husband, you know what, I think we should go take our dog for a walk. And I take him over by the canal and he said, you know what, honey, I don't think we should stay. I said, I think you're the smartest guy I've ever met. I think we should go too. And then I said, you better tell all the other guys that we're pulling out of here. And it's just to show you that it's all about familiarity. Who do you trust? And for the Latino community here in Long Beach, who do they trust? Not always government. They may have come from a home country that their government wasn't who they trusted. Or the police force may not have been who they trusted. So, you know, I ask us to really be careful when we make these type of decisions. Not about us, without us kind of thing also applies to us. And at the 1-year anniversary, when material came out from the city that said hurricane preparedness, this is the emergency information you need, and it only came out in English, I lost my mind. I just said, are you kidding me? So for the last 2 years, we have been working very, very hard with the city to pass language access. But enforcement is the key, right? And training is the key, and so many other things is the key. So I really am grateful for this opportunity to speak to all of you, and hope that you'll be little ambassadors out there about this particular piece.